Shalom my homies, I hope you're well. Today I thought I would make a video about my main and probably my favorite character who I hate intensely, Volkov. I have a love-hate relationship with this character. There are many aspects to him that I love and many that I hate. This creates a duality within me. I am torn between wanting to main this character and wanting to never touch him again. In this video I'm going to talk about why I love Volkov, why I hate him, and changes BMG could make in order to improve the character. Alright, first up, weapons. First thing I want to talk about is Volkov's weapons. I love his weapon combination of axe and scythe. I think they are perfect for each other, and they are my best weapons. In theory, the weapons should cover each other's weaknesses perfectly. Scythe is a fast string weapon that builds up damage quickly but has trouble killing, and axe is a slow combo/juggling weapon that usually kills very efficiently. I say usually because on Volkov, the strengths of axe definitely do not shine through, for reasons that I will get into later in the video. I wish some other character had this weapon combination because I love playing Scythe, it's my favorite weapon, and I love Axe, but Volkov's Axe is just so bad. There are really two major reasons why Volkov's Axe is so bad: his sigs and his stats. I'll go over his Axe sigs first. Starting with Axe side sig, this sig is actually alright. The uncharged version is pretty quick, and since your character disappears for a moment, it can be hard to react to. Unfortunately, the uncharged version of this move has absolutely no force and therefore will never ever kill ever. The charged version sends at a great angle, but due to how long it takes to actually get the charged version of this move, you can pretty much only use it as a read or a follow up at low health and not as an actual punish, making it super risky for only a moderate reward, especially considering that even if you do hit it, the low force will never kill on stage. Overall, this move is only alright, while the charged version is all but useless. Moving on to Axe D-Sig, this move is definitely bad. It's extremely slow, has a tiny hitbox, and is super punishable. You might think at first that it has good force, but this is just an illusion because it is the only sig on his Axe kit that actually can kill. But when compared to any sig on any other Axe character, the sig's damage is just average. Overall, this move sucks. It can be buffed by making it so that Volkov moves further/faster while using the sig, making the hitboxes actually fill out the animation effects, and decreasing the recovery time on the move. As for Axe N-Sig, it's pretty terrible. You can drift with it, which is kinda cool, but mostly just a useless gimmick. It's basically a worse version of Brawlhalla N-Sig on Axe. It has less range, less force, less damage, and sends at a worse angle. The less force and damage is partially excusable since Brawlhalla is a glass cannon, and to make up for it, it does have less recovery time. However, the terrible angle that it sends makes it pretty much unusable for killing. If you hit a very close sidelight, you can get sidelight into N-Sig down to 1 frame, except that kills at the same HP as sidelight Sair, which is true out of close sidelight, so it's not even good. They could improve this sig by changing the angle to be more horizontal, so that it could be more effective at killing and make sidelight N-Sig actually useful. Overall, this sig is not good, and I hate his Axe kit. The Scythe sigs, on the other hand, are awesome. I love his Scythe kit. Scythe N-Sig is a great utility sig, useful for recovering back to the edge of the stage, and if you can land a read with it, it will kill at extremely early HPs. It is kinda slow and has a fair bit of recovery time, making it pretty punishable, but that's just to balance it, as this sig's benefits outweigh the drawbacks big time. It's a great and really fun sig. His Scythe down sig is a super safe option that can be used as a read, edge guard, and mix-up. You can use it when your opponent is on the wall, and on small walled maps like Demon Island or Crystal Temple, it can be super effective. Even if it doesn't hit, you can still throw it out for free because of how much distance there is between you and the hitbox. It can also kill surprisingly early. I love this move. And finally, the Scythe side sig. Do I even need to talk about it? If you've ever played a Volkov before, you know how good this move is. It's extremely fast, sends out a devastating angle, kills super early, and has an outrageous hitbox. If Volkov wasn't so bad, this move would need a nerf. It's not all sunshine for this move, however, as the non-active input version is terrible. It is a reversal which would be good, except this move sends at a terrible, basically useless angle. On top of that, if you try to use it off stage, if you are ever so slightly below the lip of the stage and your opponent is on stage, then this move will miss every time, which feels terrible. This needs to be fixed in my opinion, as it would add a lot of utility to this otherwise solely kill move. Overall, this sig is insane though. This is where things start to get really depressing. Volkov has the absolute worst stats for both Scythe and Axe. High dex is essentially useless on these two weapons. If Volkov had hammer, bow, or sword, then I could forgive it. All of those weapons benefit from high dex. But Scythe and Axe? Useless. All of Axe's true combos are available at 2 dex, and he doesn't gain any new ones with the 8 dexterity. Scythe also does not gain anything from the high dex. It could potentially, as Jiro gains a combo with his dex, but that is also reliant on Jiro's high movement speed, which Volkov certainly does not have. Volkov has average defense, terrible attack, terrible speed, and for some reason really high dex. He really only has 2 options for stances, attack stance and speed stance. Attack stance takes out of dex, and speed stance takes out of attack. Attack stance is a more obvious choice, as it takes out of a useless stat and benefits his axe since it is pretty hard to kill with axe at low strength. But having 4 speed on Scythe sucks. Using strength stance slightly buffs Volkov's axe while nerfing his Scythe and his fun factor. I recently switched to speed stance as I previously used attack stance since I thought it was more optimal. 3 speed axe does not build up damage or kill efficiently, and without those 2 aspects, why play axe at all? You basically have the choice between slightly buffing his axe a little bit to make up for the terrible sigs, or investing all of your marbles into the OP Scythe. I've started using speed stance and really leaning on the Scythe, and I definitely prefer it. It is still unfortunate when an axe Sayer does not kill in Barbecue Red, but 4 speed is just terrible. They should rework Volkov's stances so that speed stance takes out of dexterity. I hate his stats. Volkov's visual design is very cool. He is a vampire king who cut out his own heart so that he couldn't be killed with a wooden stake. That is sick. His sigs all look super cool and stylish, and his default weapon skins are also really unique. I love his visual design. His skins, on the other hand, seem to be received differently by different people. I have friends who think Red Romance Volkov is super cool, but personally I don't like it that much. I have friends who think the back to school femboy Volkov skin is sick, but I definitely don't agree with that. As for his release skins, I don't really like Blood Moon Volkov. I like Blue Virus Volkov's weapon skins, but not the skin itself. And I think Huntsman Volkov would be an awesome skin, except for that stupid ass feather hat that he's got. From the neck down he looks badass, and then his hat makes it look like he's going to church. Here's hoping that Battle Pass Season 3 has a Volkov skin in it, because personally I don't care for any of his skins that much. Essentially, this sums up my feelings about Volkov. Pretty confusing, right? I hate this character so much, but I love him too much to stop playing him entirely. Hopefully some of the changes I've suggested will eventually be put into the game, because right now, I can't really recommend Volkov unless you main Axe and Scythe. If you main Scythe, you can have some fun on him, but if you main Axe, this is the absolute last character you should consider picking up. This brings us to the end of the video. What do you guys think of this style where I write a script, talk about a character, what I like about him, dislike? Any feedback would be appreciated in the comments section. Alright, thanks for watching. Peace out.